festive time in Jasper Nation. Christian Heimall and the head coach of Manhattan men's basketball, Steve Masiello. Finals week is upon us. Preparation for a nice road trip to some sunny weather. There's a track meet going on right now at Draddy Gym, so there's a lot going on, Coach. How are you doing?
Good.
Yeah?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, getting ready for a fun week. Hopefully, getting ready to go down to the Carolinas. Hopefully we get out for this winter storm. But I'm doing well. You know, C+.
Good week for the students to just focus in on their grades. Finals week, obviously, here.
That's what they say.
For you as a coach.
That's what everyone has to say. It's great, focusing on finals.
For you as a coach, how do you balance not only making sure the students get their stuff done in the classroom, but they're also still mentally and physically prepared for a game upcoming?
I think it goes hand in hand. If you're organized and disciplined in your studies, it leads to organized and discipline on the court, or vice versa. So what we do is we give them a little, played Sunday, gave them off Monday, Tuesday, let them concentrate kind of on their life and what they need to do, get organized. We had a light workout on Wednesday, went over some things and kind of got a little sweat for about an hour. Practice yesterday, practice again today, leave tomorrow. It goes quick. A lot of these guys today, I don't even know what finals week is anymore. When I was in college, you sat in the classroom for a week and took finals. Now it's you turn in papers, you do stuff online, so I don't even know what finals week is anymore. But they're getting there, and it's a good break in the middle of coming off 2 conference games. But obviously we have another 3-game swing coming up that's huge.
Yep.
And then we have about 10 days off.
Coming off the MAC Conference Outlier weekend where you go 2-0 with victory on the road, and then you finally get a home win here at Draddy Gymnasium. Let's talk about Marist real quick, because the first half of that game may have been one of the best halves defensively that you guys played all year.
Yeah, I thought we played well. I think we're playing well. I think what we're doing is there's a couple things we're not getting upset is we're not understanding teams' ability and how bad not they want to play us, but that they're ready for us. We're getting a lot of people's A game, which we should. We're playing well for 26 minutes a game. The other 14 we're not playing great. We're just playing okay, and other teams are playing well in those 10 to 12, 14, 8 minutes. But I thought we did some really good things at Marist. We came out with a good defensive mindset with guard. We had a good lead. We shot it well. We executed. We did some things. I liked us, but then we allowed them back in and let them make it interesting down the stretch. But we answered that as well, so it was some positives in that.
You talked about answering a team's run. How do you answer that? In both Marist and Monmouth, you were able to answer with runs of your own to be able to close out the basketball game and get 2 solid victories.
Both different runs. Marist, I thought we did some things. We turned it over against their pressure, gave them some easy opportunities. They came after us. We didn't handle that real well. But Marist started throwing some punches after we had a good lead. We didn't respond. It took us a little bit. Then we finally responded, attacked their pressure to score, put away the win, and got a good win. Monmouth, I didn't think we understood what we needed to do to win the game. We wanted to come down and make it a jump shooting contest a little bit. We didn't establish our identity in the paint early. They made some tough shots, very, very tough shots. Thought we had a couple interesting calls against us that added to that run. And the Marist, Monmouth got, I believe, a 7-8 point lead on us going into the half. Tyler Wilson busted it down, cut it to, I think, 6 or 4. And, we were fortunate enough to come out after an interesting halftime for them, our guys to come out and make a good run in the first 5-6 minutes.
You brought him up. Best game of his young career that I'm sure many people saw.
Who?
Tyler Wilson.
Many people who? What do you mean?
Fans, myself.
Fans think it was his best game? You spoke to fans?
I've spoken to a couple who loved the way his output was. A couple of the alums that I speak to almost every single game, a couple of the guys who come up and talk.
Best game?
They thought it was one of his. And of course, when you look at the stat sheet,
15
points
so that's
for him.
what you guys base good games on?
I base good games on overall. Like
well,
Brown.
You said 15 points. You're the one who said
offensively.
Well, you
offensively,
said
I thought
George
was his
Beeman
best
was 3
game.
for 11 and a double-double.
Right. Offensively,
he was pretty good.
Offensively, I thought it was Tyler's best game, the way he attacked, the way he drove to the basket. Offensively, I thought it was his best game. Overall, maybe not.
Pete?
I thought he had a really good game.
Okay.
How did you talk to me about the evolution of Tyler Wilson? Because when I spoke to him after the game, he said it's something you've talked about, being more assertive and more aggressive.
No, I'm proud of you. He helped us win the game. The 15 points isn't what I was happy with. That was a byproduct of him being aggressive in an attack mode. And really it started on the defense end, him getting after the basketball. See, that's what you don't talk about.
Right.
He started by really, what changed the game was where he got it from was getting out in transition.
Mm-hmm.
He started really getting after the Monmouth guards, turned them over, got us out on the break, three-point play, N1s, free throws. Now, he didn't shoot well from the free throw line, but it all started with his aggressive mindset defensively, which is what I wanted to see. Then he got some good half-court situations. Points are the most overrated thing there is in sports. It's like, let's have a 90-yard offensive drive and then hand it off, and the guy gets a touchdown. What about the 90-yard plays we had? The touchdown's nice, and I know you get the credit for it, but that's the difference between fans and coaches. And I obviously will show where you sit. I was very happy with his mindset and his mentality. The points is irrelevant to me. I liked the way he attacked, but he was a big key, and I thought when we needed a basket, he got us some.
In 2 of the last 4 games, Heimall Brown has been on the verge of a triple-double. Rebounds, blocks, he's all over the place. I don't even want to know where the ceiling is for him because who knows where that could possibly be for him.
Yeah.
How close is he, and how much do you see him as that triple-double threat every single night on the court?
He's that. He's become that. I mean, he's a guy who I'm starting a Heimall Brown boycott.
Okay.
And I'm furious at the media. Because I don't think he gets any attention he does deserve. I think you're looking at a guy who's second in the country in block shots, who basically is a defensive monster, who does it every night out. Per minute played, he's a terrific rebounder, terrific shot blocker, and he's really improved as an offensive player, and I think he gets no credit for it. So it's very frustrating to me. His team's winning.
Yep.
He's in first place. He's doing everything you could ever ask. Goes to school. He's going to graduate on time. And he's not ever talked about. So it's just very frustrating for me that he doesn't get more attention, and that he deserves it. Everything you see from him on the court, he wants no credit, wants no fame. He is all character. He is all the right things you want from your son, from your husband, from your brother, from anyone. He stands for it. He is the epitome of what a Manhattan college basketball player should be, student athlete.
And he is on the verge of becoming just the second player in MAC history with 300 career blocks. When you talk about a guy like Heimall, you mentioned being the epitome of this program and things like that. How does he show that? Because when you look at Heimall, he's not the kind of guy who will boast about it. He's not the kind of guy to say, look, I'm the guy who drives this engine. I'm just a piece of it. He understands the sum is greater than its parts kind of mentality that you brought in.
Yeah, he does, and I think when a guy of his magnitude and of that success does that, it really keeps everyone else in their place, and he understands it. And he'll be the first one to say, no one is bigger than this program, and everything he does is about blue collar hard work. He doesn't want any of the kind of cool points. He wants to get it all the old fashioned way. And I just have so much respect for him as a person, the way he handles himself. In between games, he's down doing a toy drive for kids on 138th Street.
Yep.
People have no idea about this kid and what he's about. It'd be one of the biggest mistakes I've ever seen if an NBA team doesn't pick him up. Not because of his play, that we know, but you're having a person who blocks shots and rebounds, and that's all they want to do.
Yeah.
So think of that, number one, in the NBA, where everyone wants, touches and all that stuff. Then you have one of the most high character people with terrific work ethic, who's just all about the team and winning. I'm mad at the media. I've told them that every press conference, and I'm going to continue to tell them that. I don't know what they're looking at, but I don't think they know what they're looking at sometimes.
I want to get our fans
You're in that
involved.
group.
I'll work on that one, no problem.
Okay.
One of our
You're
fans.
telling me Tyler Wilson's best games because he had 15 points. You didn't say
I
one
said
thing
offensively.
about deflection. You didn't say one thing about him getting after the basketball. You didn't say one thing about his activity in the zone. You didn't say one thing about. That's what I deal with.
I'd like to get our fans involved. Luke asking on Twitter, noticing at least what he thinks is that you guys, the men's team, isn't playing as much of that full court pressure defense that you had the last 2 years, and wanted to know where that change has been coming from.
Well, we are. We're doing some different things. We're playing some more man pressure. But a couple things are happening. One, I think our half-court defense is getting extremely good. I think teams are shooting 35% against us in conference, and I want to say maybe 38 on the year. I'm not real sure. I don't want to give teams any early opportunities to get confidence going. But that really doesn't factor in. What's really driving me nuts is the referee.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to call it, and I don't want to get us in the bonus with 12 minutes to go in a half. So I'm trying to pick our spots until I can figure out really how this thing is going to be called. We'll show it here, we'll show it there. And the luxury we have is we have a very good half-court defense, which we can fall back on when we don't want to press. but it's still our philosophy and still what we want to do. And the Monmouth game in the second half, I thought we really did a good job of getting after them and kind of making them work. And you know, it's based on the other teams, well, where we see it suits fit with their personnel. But the number one thing by far is the referee. If I could, I'd press all game. Right. But I also don't want to have Mike Alvarado, George, Shane, AP, Ramel, 3 fouls, 2 fouls in the first half.
Yeah,
and we're sitting here and, you know, I'm like, okay, this was great. You know, just with 22 free throw attempts.
So as you look forward for this team trying to get out of town before the weather hits this weekend, 2 games against 2 very solid coaches in Buzz Peterson and Frank Martin, UNC Wilmington coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, rematch of the Bracket Buster.
Yep.
That was up here 2 years ago. Very, very good team. Very well coached. Had a great win at East Carolina, and I think they won 2 in a row now. Very tough place to play. Another CAA kind of playing up. Again, I don't know who did the schedule. The schedule's really gets hard. You know, it's like you get through a tough part, and then it gets tougher. So, you know, and obviously I have a lot of respect for their program, what they're doing. Coming off a week off for us. I'm just really curious to see how this team responds to all these different circumstances. And then obviously South Carolina, the great job Frank has done, and the respect I have for him and what he's accomplishing at South Carolina. Getting that program back. I mean, they had Baylor basically beat at Baylor a couple weeks ago. And so 2 very tough opponents on the road for us. But that being said, if we are who I think we could be, it's something that we have to show we're ready for and go out and put our best foot forward.
With regards to the schedule, I'm not sure how much you can comment on this in terms of UNC Wilmington and South Carolina, but it's an interesting thing to look at. The Seahawks have already played 11 games this year. Meanwhile, South Carolina has played 5 total. When it comes to scheduling and things like that, where do you see the biggest benefit? Playing more games early on, having those breaks in between to work on an individual stuff?
I like one break during Christmas.
Okay.
I like that. And I think what it does, it gets you, that's when your teams can really get better. I don't like week break games, 10-day break. I don't like it. I like one 10-day break where you can take your team, no rules, literally practice 16 hours a day if you wanted to, work on every underneath out of bounds, side out of bounds, your press offenses, all the little things. And more importantly than anything, have a chance to work on individual instruction and guys getting better, where guys can really enhance their games. The players want games. The coaches want practice.
Right.
Somewhere in the middle lies the truth. I think 5 is probably too little. I think 11 is probably too much. But again, it's all what your philosophy and style is. For us, I'm happy with where we are. I just don't like the break, especially if you're winning. You want to keep playing. If we were losing, I would have wanted to pump off. But.
So as this team prepares for North Carolina Wilmington on Sunday, what have been some of the biggest things you've been working on this week? You know,
just really, we've actually spent some time just really concentrating on us and trying to clean some things up. We're actually working on, they do a lot of different things. They'll give you some 1-3-1. They'll give you a lot of different looks of pressure. They'll play a man. They'll play 2-3. So we have to be ready for a variety of defense. We have to understand their inside attack is very good. 3-point line we have to continue to take away. The number one thing we're really trying to work on, though, is not fouling. We're bailing teams out. We think we're a pretty good defense team, but we're bailing teams out by putting them to the foul line. And it's something we have to stop if we want to achieve the level of play we think we're capable of.
How different is this road trip compared to others like Buffalo, where you're staying in the same hotel, Syracuse 2 years ago, Colorado 2 years ago, where you're staying in the same hotel but playing multiple games? Here you're in North Carolina, Wilmington, and then you'll make the trip down to Columbia, South Carolina. How different is this kind of road trip?
It's different. I mean, it's different, but it's something, we've handled before and we've seen before. It's not, listen, anytime you're on the road, believe it or not, and I think it's one of the reasons we enjoy the road, it's just you.
Yeah.
And it's your team. You're with your players, your staff. There's no distraction. There's no girlfriends. There's no family members. There's no people calling for tickets. There's no fans telling kids they played well when maybe they didn't play well. There's no radio guys annoying the coaches. It's just the players in the program. We put you in the back of the bus. But you get a chance to bond. You get a chance to have some fun. You get a chance to really enjoy one another and concentrate just really on each other. And that's nice. Sometimes when you're home, you get pulled in a lot of different ways. And I think sometimes that's tough, not only for the players, but also sometimes the coaches as well. It's just you're trying to manage recruiting and what's going on. It's a lot. So I don't mind the road. We don't mind the road. And I don't mean that because of our record on the road. Anything that happened needs to. But the road is we try to make it fun for us.
And I know it's probably your favorite part of the season coming up when it's strictly basketball. There's no more school coming up. It's
Christmas,
just for a month.
Christmas starts for me tomorrow. Christmas starts tomorrow for me. There's no more academic stuff related. We took care of business. Guys took care of classes, finals, working on that GPA, working towards that degree. Now it's Christmas. Now it's just basketball. That's it. It's great. You gotta love it. If I could stay in here, I'd stay in here 20 hours. Get a bed, suite, order Domino's. Not Domino's. Order some food, hang out.
Talk to me about Wednesday's practice, because that looked like one of the more fun practices that you guys have had, and just enjoying being part around this team.
Well, middle of finals week, so you know, we're kind of, everyone's a little like, you know, we just got a league play. I'm not happy with the way we're playing. I'm on the guys, you know, like I always am, and the guys are kind of stressed. They got finals, they got practice area for the games. I'm mad at the staff. They did something, you know. It's just kind of everyone's at each other. So I said, you know, let's have the dodgeball tournament. Let's let out some stress. And we had the first annual Manhattan Classic Dodgeball Invitational, where we had 4 5-man teams. And Adam Lacey was a captain. Carlton Allen was a captain. Ramel Brown was a captain. And there was one other captain, I can't remember who it was. Yeah, everyone, staff and players included, trainer. You were a sub. You got in.
The only time in the world George Beeman will ever be traded for me.
Yeah.
George had
Beeman
class.
had to go to class.
So for whatever reason, you made that trade.
And we had my team made it to the finals versus, I want to say it was AP's team.
Yeah.
And they wound up winning, and we lost in the championship. But we had a lot of fun. Needless to say, I found out I was the number 1 target in a lot of these dodgeballs. I didn't know I'd have so many balls being thrown at me the whole afternoon. I wasn't expecting that, but I see where a lot of their frustrations. Funny, some of the guys on my own team were throwing the ball at me at certain points, but we had a blast. We had a lot of fun with it, and it's good just to kind of, you know, change it up and give them a different, you know, outlet to things and have some fun and relax. And kind of you have to do that when things get a little tense. And they, you know, what people don't understand is we don't look at our record. We just look at our product. Whether we're 8-0, 0-8, 6-2, 2-6, what is our product, and are we happy with it? So, you know, a lot of people say, well, okay, you're 6-2, 2-0. If we're not happy, you know, again, that's why I've graded us like a C-. We're not happy. People aren't walking around singing Christmas carols right now, and they're not going to be for a while. We have a job to do and a goal to do, and the kids understand that. The players understand that. The SID understands it. The trainer understands it. You understand it, and it's all one mission. We're all bonded for this thing, and that's what makes it fun. Because when you have everyone come together and everyone understands each other's stress levels and what's going on in each other and what everyone's upset about or happy about, that's what makes great chemistry and leads to great chemistry and great bonding. Because you got to get through those things in order to have success, and that's what's going on.
The mission continues on Sunday as the Jaspers visit Trask Coliseum for the first time in program history to take on the UNC Wilmington Seahawks. If you'd like to ask Coach a question on our next Inside Manhattan Basketball, tweet us at GoJaspers. You can email
Or if you'd like to talk to a player, we're going to add a new dimension to the show. We're going to have players on. So if there's any players you want to talk to, let us know who it is. If there's anyone you want to talk to, assistant coach, ADs, cheerleader, you name it, we'll get them. How about that? If you want to even go into Hollywood, he has some connections. Army, Navy, anyone you want us to get to, we'll get to. We'll have them on the show as our guest, and we'll let you guys ask questions. Just Christians get a little boring.
You can also follow Coach Steve _Masiello on Twitter. Coach, thanks a lot for the time as always.
Please don't say who plays well, unless you're going to do it based off the defense.
Okay.
Fair?
Fair.
You're supposed to be a blue-collar, hard-nosed. You're not becoming like Hollywood on me, are you?
No.
Okay.
Not in the list.
I just want to make sure.
Not in the list. I'm not at that level for Hollywood.
Right.
So.
We're going to take a vote, too, about the tweet me about his shaving. I think it needs to go. I think it doesn't look good at all. So you also tweet me about that. We'll take a vote from Jasper Nation.
We'll see you next time inside Manhattan Basketball.